Let me ask you something. How many times have you been absolutely certain a woman was into you, only to watch the whole thing fall apart before it even started? She was laughing at everything you said. She kept finding reasons to be near you. She was texting you first, responding fast, keeping the conversation alive. And in your head, you told yourself, this is it. This one is different. This one is real. And then, without warning, without explanation, she was gone. Cold, distant, like the whole thing never happened. And you were left standing there, replaying every single moment, trying to figure out where it went wrong. I'll tell you exactly where it went wrong. It wasn't your looks. It wasn't your money. It wasn't even what you said. It was what you did the moment you thought you had her. Because the second most men believe they've spotted attraction, they stop being the man she was attracted to in the first place. They get eager. They get obvious. They start performing instead of just being. And attraction, real attraction, the kind that pulls a woman toward you without her fully understanding why, cannot survive that shift. It dies the moment you stop being grounded and start chasing the feeling. Here's what nobody tells you. Attraction is not a destination. It's a live wire. It's constantly shifting, constantly testing, constantly deciding whether you're worth the risk. And a woman who is genuinely sexually attracted to you is not going to announce it. She's not going to walk up to you and make it easy. What she's going to do is send signals, quiet ones, layered ones, signals that most men either miss entirely or misread so badly that they torch the whole thing without realizing it. And that's the gap. Not between attractive men and unattractive men, but between men who understand what's actually happening beneath the surface and men who are just reacting to what they think they see. So this is what we're doing today. I'm going to walk you through 7 signs that a woman is sexually attracted to you. Not friendly, not polite, not just comfortable around you. Sexually attracted. And more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly what not to do the moment you recognize each one, because recognizing the signal is only half the battle. The other half is keeping yourself together long enough to actually do something with it. If you've ever felt like you keep getting close and then watching it disappear, then what you're about to read is going to change the way you see every interaction going forward. The first sign is that she watches your mouth when you talk, not your eyes, your mouth. And before you dismiss this as something small, understand that this is one of the clearest indicators your brain can pick up that something has shifted in the way a woman is processing you. Most people maintain eye contact during conversation. That's the social default. That's what people do when they're engaged but neutral. But when attraction enters the picture, especially when it starts moving into sexual territory, her focus drifts. It drops from your eyes to your lips. And it doesn't happen once. It's a pattern. You're mid-sentence, she's listening, and her gaze slides down for half a second before coming back up. Then it happens again, then again. This is not a conscious decision on her part. That's the important thing to understand. Her brain is doing something she hasn't fully processed yet. She's no longer just hearing your words. She's starting to imagine physical closeness. Lips are tied to intimacy in a way that almost nothing else is. So when her attention keeps landing there, it means her mind is already moving somewhere her mouth hasn't said yet. But here's exactly where men destroy this. They notice it once, and they immediately act on it. They lean in too fast, they make a comment, they try to turn the moment into something, and they shatter the tension completely. You don't act on this the first time you see it. You don't act on it the second time either. You observe, you file it, you look for the pattern. Because a glance means nothing, a pattern means everything. And when you've confirmed it's real, you still don't rush. You just let the tension sit there and you stay present without breaking it, because the tension itself is doing the work for you. The second sign is that she engineers physical closeness. And I want you to pay attention to this one carefully, because there is a massive difference between a woman who ends up near you and a woman who chooses to be near you. When a woman is not attracted to you, she protects her space, not aggressively, not rudely, but naturally. She sits across from you. She keeps a comfortable gap between you. She angles her body slightly away, which is her system keeping a boundary she doesn't even have to think about. But when a woman is attracted to you, her body moves toward yours. And when she has options, when she could sit anywhere, when she could stand anywhere, and she still ends up right beside you, close enough that her shoulder brushes yours, close enough that you can feel the warmth of her presence without even looking her direction, that is not coincidence. That is a decision her body made before her mind fully signed off on it. Here's what makes this sign so powerful. She can't really hide it. She doesn't even know she's doing it most of the time. Her instincts are pulling her into your space because some part of her wants to explore what it feels like to be there. And this is where most men fail in one of two ways. Either they go completely frozen, they sit there stiff and pretend nothing is happening and the moment evaporates, or they take it as a green light for everything and they push forward too aggressively and she suddenly feels like her space is being invaded instead of shared. Neither works. What works is this. You acknowledge the closeness without making it a production. You adjust slightly toward her. You don't pull away, but you don't lunge either. You make it clear with your body language that you're comfortable in this space with her, that you're not rattled, that you're not overthinking it, and then you watch what she does next. Because if she stays close, if she doesn't create distance, if her body stays open and facing you, then you have your answer. She's not just near you, she's choosing to be. The third sign is that she touches you. And this is the one that trips men up the most, because they treat all touch the same way when it is absolutely not the same. There are two completely different categories of touch happening in social interactions, and if you can't tell them apart, you will misread every single one. The first kind is comfortable touch. It's casual. It's the kind that happens between people who feel relaxed around each other. She taps your arm when she laughs. She gives you a little shove when she's teasing you. It's quick, it's reactive, and it's gone before you even register it fully. This is social. This is friendly. This alone tells you nothing about attraction. The second kind is deliberate touch. And this one feels different even if you can't immediately explain why. It lingers. It happens in moments where there was no real reason for it. She reaches over and adjusts something on your shirt. She lets her hand rest on your arm a beat longer than the joke required. She finds a reason to make contact that has nothing to do with the conversation. And when she pulls away, it's slow. Not because she planned it that way, but because her body didn't want to. That's the touch you pay attention to. That's the one that means something. And here's the layer underneath that most men never get to. When a woman is genuinely attracted to you, she often touches you before she has consciously decided that she wants to. Her body moves on its own. The impulse fires before the rational thought catches up, which means the touch is almost always more honest than anything she's going to say. So the pattern is everything. One touch, ignore it. Two touches in the same interaction, now you're paying attention. 3 times, and she keeps finding new reasons to bridge that gap, now you know. But even then, even when you know, the correct response is not to mirror her immediately with the same intensity. Because the moment you make it obvious that you noticed, that you're now participating consciously, the dynamic shifts from something instinctive and electric into something deliberate and uncomfortable. What you do is stay grounded. You let her come back into that space. You don't reach for it. You make it clear through your stillness and your comfort that you're someone worth touching again. The fourth sign is that her smile changes when she's around you. And this is where a lot of men get themselves in trouble because smiling on its own means absolutely nothing. Women smile constantly. They smile when they meet strangers. They smile through conversations they're bored by. They smile to be polite, to deflect, to manage social situations. If you're reading every smile as interest, you are setting yourself up for constant embarrassment. So the smile itself is not the signal. The quality of the smile is. The timing of the smile is. The context it shows up in is. The smile you're looking for is not the one she gives you when you say something funny. It's the one she gives you when nothing is happening. You're not performing. You're not telling a story. There's a pause in the conversation, and she's just looking at you, and there it is. This quiet, soft, almost private smile that has nothing to do with anything external. That smile is not a reaction. That smile is an emission. It's coming from something happening inside her that she hasn't said out loud. And you'll notice the timing of it feels slightly off from a social standpoint. It comes a half-second early. It stays a half-second too long. It shows up during silence when there was no trigger for it. That's because it's not responding to what you did. It's responding to how she feels. And when you see it, here is what you absolutely cannot do. You cannot immediately try to convert that warmth into escalation. This is the single most common way men destroy early attraction. They feel the emotional softness of a moment like this, and they immediately try to make it physical. And she shuts down, not because she wasn't attracted, but because you skipped a step. You moved from emotional comfort to physical pressure, without letting the emotional layer develop enough to support the weight of what you were reaching for. So you recognize the smile. You let it land. You hold the moment without filling it with noise. And you allow her to stay in that feeling because the longer she feels that way in your presence, the stronger the pull toward you becomes. The fifth sign is that she sends you content that has a sexual edge to it. And by the time you're here, the subtlety phase is over. A woman who sends you a suggestive photo, a video that's clearly designed to get a reaction, a message that has an unmistakably physical undertone, she is taking a real risk. Women are acutely aware of how these things will be interpreted. They know exactly what it signals. So if she still chose to send it, that was not an accident. That was a calculated step across a line she had been standing behind for a while. She is opening a door and watching to see how you walk through it. And this is where men implode the most spectacularly. Because they get excited, genuinely and understandably excited, and that excitement spills out everywhere. They respond instantly. They flood her with compliments. They spiral into validation and eagerness. And in doing that, they take the tension that she built, the tension she was attracted to and was testing, and they collapse it completely. Because tension requires two poles. The moment you abandon your pole and rush toward hers, there's nothing left to pull against. The attraction dissolves. So instead of reacting like someone who just got chosen, you respond like someone who was already comfortable being wanted. You acknowledge it. You don't ignore it, because ignoring it creates its own problem. But you match her energy without exceeding it. You stay in your frame. You let her feel that you're someone who can receive that kind of energy without losing yourself in it. Because that composure, that steadiness, is exactly what she was hoping to find when she sent it. The sixth sign is that she invests her attention in you without being asked to. This one is quieter, but it is consistent, and consistency is always more meaningful than intensity. She texts you first. Not every time, but regularly. She reacts to things you post. She finds small reasons to check in, to send something, to keep a thread alive that had already reached a natural ending point. And none of this is because she ran out of other things to do. Women with genuine options, women who are not attracted to someone, do not create unnecessary communication. They respond when required. They keep things short and functional. So when she's doing the opposite, when she's initiating, when she's extending, when she's manufacturing reasons to enter your space, that's not a habit. That's a choice she keeps making about you specifically. The mistake men make here is they interpret that investment as permission to overinvest in return. They start replying within seconds every single time. They start driving every conversation, keeping it alive long past its natural end, becoming available on demand at all hours. And what they don't realize is that in doing this, they are removing the very dynamic that created her investment in the first place. She was reaching toward you because there was space between you worth crossing. The moment you collapse that space, by being endlessly available, there's nothing left for her to move toward. So you match her investment without exceeding it. You give her enough that she knows you're interested. You leave enough space that she keeps choosing to come back. Because what you're measuring is not the volume of her messages. You're measuring whether she keeps choosing you. And when she does, consistently, without being pushed or prompted, that tells you more than anything else ever could. The seventh sign is that she flirts with you openly and without ambiguity. And if you've made it here, the guessing is done. There are no more signals to decode, no more patterns to confirm, no more subtlety to sit with. When a woman reaches this point, she has already run through her own internal process, and she has decided that the risk is worth it. Her body language is completely open and directed at you. She's finding reasons for direct physical contact, not the casual, accidental kind, the intentional kind. She positions herself in your orbit consistently and naturally. If there's music, if there's movement, her body is aligned with yours. If there's conversation, she's fully present in it. She is no longer testing. She is extending an invitation. And yet this is the exact moment where men who should know better still find ways to lose it. Some of them hesitate. They've been second-guessing signals for so long that even when the signal is impossible to miss, their brain refuses to act. They overthink. They wait for more confirmation. And in that hesitation, the moment breathes and then it dies. Others swing to the opposite extreme. They take obvious flirtation as full permission, and they escalate too fast, too aggressively, without reading her response in real time. And the moment she feels pressure instead of pull, she withdraws. Because even an open invitation is not a blank check. It's an opening, not a conclusion. Your job in this moment is to lead, not to lunge. You move toward her, but incrementally. You close a little distance. You create a small escalation, a touch, a held gaze, a lower voice, a step closer. And then you pause. You watch. Does she come toward you? Does she stay? Does her body say yes even when her mouth hasn't? Or does she create space because attraction is not confirmed by the signal she sends? It's confirmed by how she responds when you move in the direction she pointed you. And if she meets you there, if she stays, if she leans in, then you're no longer reading signs. You're inside the moment. And that's exactly where you were supposed to be. Here is the only thing you need to carry with you after reading all of this. Not the list, not the 7 signs. The one principle underneath all of them. Attraction is a pattern, never a single moment. 1 sign is noise. 2 signs might be coincidence. But when multiple signals start stacking, when she's doing several of these things consistently in different contexts, across different interactions, that is no longer something you're imagining. That is something real, and it is happening whether you're ready for it or not. The men who lose women they were genuinely connected with don't lose them because they weren't attractive enough. They lose them because they couldn't hold themselves together long enough to let the attraction complete its own arc. They either acted too soon, collapsed the tension by being too eager, or they waited too long and let the moment pass them entirely. Both are the same failure wearing different clothes, so stop chasing moments. Stop hunting for certainty before you're willing to move. Instead, build the skill of reading what's actually in front of you and staying grounded enough to respond to it without flinching. Because when a woman is sexually attracted to you, she will tell you, not always with words, not always in ways that are easy to catch, but she will tell you. And the man who can hear what she's actually saying, who can hold the tension without breaking it, who can move with confidence without forcing the outcome, that man does not need to chase. And the moment you stop chasing, everything around you changes.